if there was a place that you most would expect to see angels, I bet it would be the church. And yet when it happened, everyone was vastly surprised, except two people, Joey and Serena. Joey, a boy who was scared of the dark, and Serena, a girl whose hope and joy of life would lit up an entire room. But then, they were the reason why the angels appeared. Every day was a celebration for Serena. And this day in particular was going to be a celebration. She fluffed her wings. She strengthened her halo. What does it matter if the choir could sing a tune? What does it matter if the organ could barely play? What does it matter if the manger scene was a little shaky? There was going to be a Christmas pageant, and Serena was going to be the angel. How do I look? Joey asked Serena. Oh, you look wonderful, Serena said Joey. Everything about his friend was wonderful for Joey. Serena didn't make Joey feel different. It always made Joey feel good. Serena would never pick on Joey. Joey sometimes was a little hard to understand some things, and Serena never made him feel bad about that. Serena never made him feel bad for being too loud at times, and in particular, Joey was never made fun of by Serena for being scared of the dark. But instead, Serena looked into the inside of Joey and made Joey feel loved. Isn't she wonderful, Tess? Said Monica. As Tess and Monica hung out in the choir loft. Oh, isn't it a wonder? She has so much joy and hope about her. Yes, baby, said Tess. She has a spirit within her that has the ability to light the souls of many people. Before, well, Tess stopped just a moment. Before it went out, there was a loud wheeze! And then the organ quit. Poking at the silent keys, Edna said, "Drat! I knew this old thing would go out before I would." How can we have Christmas without an organ? "Hello," came the answer. "We're here from the organ repair service." There in the middle of the aisle stood Tess and Monica. It was as if no one watched them come in. Edna quickly snapped, "We didn't hire no organ repair service." Even though they did need some help. Tess got right at it. She came up forward. She began to organize the wise men and the shepherds. She began to tune the choir just a little, and she began to tell the choir that they could practice just a little without the organ. But at that moment, Edna snapped again. "We will have an organ on Sunday night." Just then, Joey whispered, "This thing is at night?" Tess responded quickly, saying, "Yep, Sunday at 7 o'clock is the Christmas pageant." She missed Joey's concerned face. Tess began to cue up the deacons, and they started at Serena's part. Serena, proudly in the loft, stood. And then, once again, she heard those wonderful words. and the glory of the Lord shineth around the earth. And yet they were afraid. And the angel of the Lord said, Serena leaned a little forward. She took a big breath in and out. And she began to be lifted higher and higher and higher. It was as if Serena was flying. And then she said, fear not. For I bring you good news of great joy for all the people. It was this most wonderful scene. And then, screech! The rope jammed just a little, and there was Serena hanging in the air by this rope. The choir even gasped. Just then, Serena felt her chest tightening up just a little. She began to struggle to breathe. And then Monica, without anyone else watching, looked at the rope, and the rope began to let her down, right into the arms of her best friend, Joey. I was so concerned about you, Serena. I was so concerned, said Joey. They laid Serena down on the ground. Tess asked, how are you, baby? As the choir gathered around little Serena. I can't breathe. And she began to cough just a little. Monica took her hand, just touched Serena ever so gently. She began to feel and breathe a lot better then. So Serena stood up. And she said, this is gonna work, isn't it? I have to fly for Christmas Eve pageant. Edna quickly responded, of course you'll fly. You're the only angel we've got. Tess and Monica began to speak to one another a little bit. Monica had said, isn't it a shame? Isn't it a shame that we know more than humans but less than God? And then Tess began to say, yes, baby, it is. But it's in the moments of darkness from God when people start looking for the stars. After the practice, Serena and Joey were sitting out front on the front steps of the church, and coming out, walking was Monica and Tess and Deacon Jones. Monica asked, who's taking you home this evening? Joey quickly chimed in, my brother Wayne. He's coming so I can be home before dark. In a very loyal way, Serena chimed in. It's not that he's afraid of the dark. He just doesn't like it. So Monica had offered for Serena and Joey to have a ride home with them in Tess's big red car. Once they got home and Wayne was there, Wayne had said to Joey, why didn't you wait for me? I told you I was gonna be there. In all of Joey fashion, Joey said, well, Monica brought us home and brought Serena home too, and we're gonna eat macaroni now. You could see the face of Wayne. He was a little embarrassed. As Monica put her hand out so gently and said hello to Wayne. So Monica asked, are you going to the Christmas pageant on Sunday night? Wayne quickly said no. I'm not a Christmas kind of guy. Joey chimed in. We don't do Christmas around here, as he put his head down. Wayne felt like he needed to clarify just a little. We don't do Christmas around here because when our parents were living, he said to Monica, my mom would make this big feast and would care so much, but now that it's just Joey and I, it's just too much for us. I'm just too busy. Monica could see the look of tiredness on the face of Wayne and realized that Wayne was under a lot of responsibility caring for someone as special as Joey. Wayne began to say, it's really tiring. It's really hard caring for Joey as he led himself and Monica to the living room. It's sometimes a lot of work to care for him. But I'm so grateful for Serena. Serena is his best friend and takes him off my hand from time to time. He lets no one pick on him or make fun of him, and he just feels loved by Serena so much. That's when Monica asked, do you know about Serena's illness? Have you heard about it? Wayne quickly chimed in, of course. I know about it. It's her heart. She was born with this defect, but she's going to outgrow this heart defect. Monica shook her head. No, it was a little worse. What Serena had wasn't going to be cured, and Monica made it very clear to Wayne that Joey was going to lose his best friend very soon. The next day, they were at the Christmas Eve pageant practice again. Monica was there helping Serena get ready. And that's when Serena pulled it out. It was a stuffed animal named Mr. Beans. Mr. Beans, Serena said, is going to fly with me on Christmas Eve as I fly like the angel. Then Serena asked this question to Monica. Do angels keep their promises? Monica responded, always. They always keep their promises. Well, I promised, Serena said, to take Mr. Beans with me. That's when they began practicing a little bit longer. And there it was, yet again, the choir was singing Silent Night off cue. And Serena, in maybe kind of a kindful but stubborn way, said, can't they just get Silent Night correct? And that's when Monica said, yeah, I think they'll be okay on Sunday evening. That's when Joey yet again said, I'm not coming on Sunday evening. It's at night. I am not coming. The next day, Joey and Serena were outside in the snow, and they were making snow angels in the snow. He began to feel bad for all of the commotion he had the day before about being scared of the dark. And Serena, in her very kind way, said, don't worry, we're all scared of something. Joey thought to himself, okay, well then what do you do when you're scared? Serena said, well, I pray. How about you do that, Joey? How about you pray to God because of being scared? Joey said, okay. But what if I also pray about Wayne hating me? And in that moment, there was no response. Serena didn't say a word. Joey looked at Serena, and it looked as if Serena wasn't breathing. So he yelled, Serena! Serena! No response. So Joey picked up Serena. Joey ran home and said, oh no, and kicked open the door of Wayne's house and said, Wayne, it's Serena. Wayne quickly came down the steps and told Joey to put Serena on the bed as he called 911 and called her parents. Wayne was holding the hand of Serena, her very cold hand. He began to say, don't die on me. Don't die on me. Little girl, don't die on me. Oh my, oh my, oh my. But what was fascinating was Serena had her eyes open. But Serena was not hearing anything, Wayne said. Instead, there in the corner stood Tess, Monica, and a tall man named Andrew. They began to say that Andrew was here to take Serena to heaven very soon. Andrew said to not be afraid. But instead, there's going to be some hard days ahead of you. There's going to be some tough moments, but to remain strong. Andrew even so much said that for Serena to not be fearful because her two angels were going to be with her until she went off to heaven. Tess leaned over, kissed the forehead of Serena, and said, "Fear not, my little angel." After help had come, Wayne went to look for Joey. Joey was in the house, and Wayne had said, "Come here, Joey, and sit down. I have something to talk to you about." And Joey said, "No, no." And Wayne repeated himself by saying, "Joey, come and sit down. I have something to tell you about." And he says, "No, no, no." Joey went on to say, "The last time you told me to sit down, that you had something to tell me, was because of our parents. It was from our parents. When they went out into the dark and they never returned home. I'm not sitting down." Wayne persisted, and in that moment, Joey, screaming, "No, no, no," ran out of the door and into the porch. Sitting on the porch, Joey was sitting there. He closed his eyes and he began to pray. And he said, "Dear God, it's Joey. My friend Serena is about to die. I need your help. Love, Joey." Joey opened up his eyes. But just as quick as he opened up his eyes, he closed his eyes again and said, "Amen," and then reopened his eyes again. The next day was one of the longest days. One of his longest days for Joey. As Joey waited to see his friend Serena. But once he saw his friend Serena, it lit up his world. They visited each other in the hospital. Joey had went to the hospital to visit Serena. Serena, with a smile on her face, said to Joey, "Joey, I saw two angels today. You know Tess and Monica from the organ repair service? They're actually angels." Joey said, "Really? Real angels?" Serena said, "Yeah." And then Serena went on to say that, "I have something important for you to do. I have something I really need you to do," Joey said, Serena. "Well, what is it?" Serena said, "I need you to go find Mr. Beans. And take Mr. Beans to the Christmas Eve pageant and to help him fly on Christmas Eve." Joey said, "No way. You're going to do that. You're going to take Mr. Beans to the Christmas Eve pageant and fly." And that's when Serena nodded her head. And that's when Joey realized it and said, "No, no, no." Joey said, "I can't do that. I can't go in the dark alone without you. I'm scared of the dark." And that's when Serena ever so gently picked up Joey's hand, and hand in hand, she looked at him in the eyes and said, "I can't go with you in the dark any longer. You're going to have to do it alone." Joey put his head down and shook it ever so more. And so Serena tightened his hand ever so much and said, "Fear not. Fear not, Joey." So, in all of the faithfulness of Joey, he began to look for Mr. Beans. He looked everywhere. He even looked at the church and couldn't find Mr. Beans. So in his moment of frustration again, he got down and prayed to this prayer this time. He said, "Dear God, it's Joey again. I can't find Mr. Beans. Serena's dying. I'm scared of the dark. I'm not going to the pageant." And then he was interrupted. He was interrupted by Monica. And Monica had said, "Oh, you have a lot of things that you're afraid of." Joey said, "Serena told me that you're an angel." And Monica said, "Yes, I am." And then he said, "But you don't look like an angel." And then Serena said, "Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do." So Monica asked him, why he's always so afraid. Why are you always afraid? And that's what Joey yet again said. Because my parents went out into the dark one night and never came home. So people who go out in the dark don't come back. Monica had said, well, you won't be alone. You'll have Wayne and other people will be here to let you know that they love you. So, in this moment, he responded. And I said, Serena is going to die and I don't want to be alone. Again, Serena had said, Monica had said, you'll have Wayne. But then ever so quickly he said, but Wayne hates me. Monica did not like this. And so the very next day, Monica went to the lumber yard where he worked. Went to this lumber yard place and was inside, of course. And so when he opened up the doors, there stood Monica. His first question was, how did you get in here? But she just smiled. And through her smile, it turned into a serious face. And the serious face began to say, do you know that Joey thinks you hate him? What? Said Wayne. How does he think that I hate him? I love him so much and I do so much for him and I have so much responsibility for him. I just can't understand. Well, Monica said, well, you care for him, but you don't see who Joey really is. You don't really see who Joey is, and you want him to be something else. You care for him, but you haven't accepted Joey as he is. Wayne began to think a little bit. You could see his wheels turning, and he's thinking ever just a moment. And so he says, so all I have to do is, and Monica interrupted and said, love him. All you have to do is love him. So the next day was the day of the pageant. Wayne went to Joey and said, I know you must be in some pain. It must be very hard. And that's when Joey blurted out, Serena is going to die. Wayne had said, well, we have to have some hope. Hope that things will be okay for her, that things will be okay for us. Serena has been your very, very best friend, and I know I haven't always shown you that love, but I promise that I'll show you and be a better brother and be a better friend to you. I accept you just as you are. Well, that made Joey think for a moment. It made him think and was unsure what was happening. And so what he said was, well, why are you wearing a suit, Wayne? And so that's when Wayne said, well, I'm going to the Christmas pageant. So from there, Wayne got in his car, left the house, and there stayed alone Joey. But then a moment later, the doorbell rang. And through the doorbell, he opened the door, and there was Monica. And Monica had asked, are you coming to the Christmas pageant? And that's when he declared, no, I am not. It's at the nighttime. It's at dark. And I am scared of the dark. But I haven't found Mr. Beans yet, and I have to hold this promise for Serena. That's when Monica had shared that keeping promises sometimes takes courage, and it's good for us. And from there, Monica left. As Monica walked down the steps, that's when he saw it. Mr. Beans was sitting on the porch. So he ran and got Mr. Beans and picked it up, and as he picked it up, he saw this bright star shining as well. And so he began to hold Mr. Beans, look at this bright, beautiful star that was in the sky. He began to look at his door, look at the star, look at the door, look at the star. He had no idea what to do. But then he realized that the star was shining the very path, the very street of his street. It pointed him right to the church. So Joey took Mr. Beans in his hands had to make a decision. And then, hesitantly, he began walking to the church. As you can imagine, the mood was quite low at the Christmas pageant. Things were quite sad because of Serena. And so the deacon, as before, began and said the same lines. The glory of the Lord shineth around them, and they became terrified. And the angel of the Lord said, Fear not! There was this person at the very back of the church, proudly holding up Mr. B and said, Fear not, for I bring you good news of great joy for all people. And in that moment, Wayne just hugged Joey and said, I'm so proud of you, I love you. And then Joey said, guess what? And Wayne said, what? And Joey said, I know that you love me. And that's when Wayne said, I do. And they wrapped each other up, and Joey, in the midst of the hug, said, I love you too. So in the midst of all of this, the choir began to sing, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. And Monica was strapped in just like Serena was supposed to be. And so she was strapped in and she began to fly like an angel. And like clockwork, this old rope broke. And this time, instead of falling, Monica continued to rise higher and higher and higher. And she proudly lifted out Mr. Beans. And Joey just smiled away. Because the promise that he made for his friend happened. There began to be this angelic celebration. It seemed like the human choir with the angelic choir just had this beautiful noise, and it was the most beautiful scene ever. But then here it was. In the midst of hearing them sing, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Joey looked up and saw in the corner of the church, there stood Tess, Andrew, and Serena. Serena smiled and waved. Joey smiled and waved back. Joey actually pointed up, and Serena nodded yes. From that moment, Joey was never afraid again. No longer afraid of the dark and afraid of nothing else. Because he knew that he was not alone, because God was with him. And all of his angels were with him also. Let us pray.